one. Welcome to Unhinged Magi!
We made it here again.
We did.
Yes, and I'm about to be schooled, as in taught and as in learned.
Yep, actual school. Like, not as in, like, I'm going to, like, beat him. I'm going to actually show him something.
Exactly. He's going to show me his deck, his creation, his fun times, and wants to have me enjoy it as much as he does.
Now, you guys might remember this video I'm going to link now where we talked about our absolute favorite decks of all time. This is it. We're going to actually play that deck, and we're going to trade off who actually plays it. Yeah, we're going to, my favorite. We should do one for your favorite, too.
Yeah, I think my deck might be crushed by yours.
Well, it's about favorite.
Yes.
So anyways, I'm excited about this deck because it's a vintage deck. I literally spent years refining this deck, and I consider it kind of like my magnum opus. And the deck actually started with a Control Slaver build that I think was originally done by Rich Shea. And I took that Control Slaver build and I spent years trying out different cards. And I was posting with people on this forum called the Mana Drain that any of you vintage players know exactly what that is, but other people don't.
I didn't.
And the Mana Drain it was a huge spot for like vintage and legacy to be discussed. And I was the guy, if any of you guys were on there, that one guy that keeps posting about Gift Slaver and talking about Gifts Ungiven, Crucible of Worlds, Intuition.
You can blame him.
That was me that was doing that. So this is that deck, and it's been refined over the years, but I stopped working on it somewhere about like 3 years ago when I got into old school because I just been focused so much on old school, but it's still my favorite deck. And so you guys are going to see it happen today.
See it in action, and I'm going to learn it. That's going to be good because a lot of the cards I'm not familiar with, so it's going to be good.
Okay, so let's get to it.
Pretty excited. Let's do it.
With me.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we do gentleman's rules for Chaos Orbing? Because, again, we're just play testing.
Yeah.
This is just to learn here.
And also because I can't hit the broadside of the barn, and you're just giving me slightly an advantage there.
Starting hand. Okay. You want to show your starting hand?
Starting hand. Starting hand. I'm awesome. They've already announced in the video that I have won.
We're teaching open boosters how to play against this vintage deck. So he's playing an old school deck. It's not a fair matchup. This is just to learn this one.
Actually, he's trying to teach me how to play Magic because I've never heard of it before.
Okay. So go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay. Oh, no, I don't draw. What am I doing? All right, I shall throw this down. And then I shall throw this down. And then I shall... Ow. And I'll go ahead and throw it down a Chaos Orb just to get ready.
Gotcha.
Yours, sir.
So let's go.
Let's go.
That.
Jeez.
That. That's pretty good bust out. Not gonna lie. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I untap. I think you cheated. All right, I'm going to put this down. And it's not as exciting. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it.
On your end step, I'm going to Factor Fiction.
Hold on. What's it do?
We dig 5 cards deep. I hand you all 5 cards, and you put them into 2 piles, and then I get to pick which pile I take.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say ouch and ouch. And I'm going to counterspell it.
Okay. So actually, yeah, you took that damage. Okay. So untap. How about we just do odds damage on this?
Yeah, sure.
Or evens, whatever you want.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, odds is fine.
Okay, so odds damage 1. So I'll take 3. And on my upkeep, I'm going to Mystical Tutor.
Okay.
That's a pretty good one. 4 Ancestral.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually these options.
That's just slightly a pretty good one.
Yeah, just slightly. Okay. Cut.
We're good.
Okay. So this is what I draw. And I already drew. And I will play Underground Sea.
Nice.
And then I will Ancestral myself.
Great.
Okay. And Then I'll tap 3 and play a Crucible of Worlds.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
That's
Now that only applies to you, Crucible of Worlds, yes?
Yes, it's only me.
Okay. Okay. So, played my Mox. I'll go ahead and do Chaos Orb of Crucible Worlds.
Okay.
And then put more death out for myself. Ow. Ow. Hold on. Serendib and put more death out for myself.
Okay. Serendib resolves.
Okay, yours.
I'll untap. No, I'll keep effects. Oh, except for this. No damage. Okay. Why don't we start here? I'll get 3, and I will play Thirst for Knowledge.
Yeah, can't do anything this time.
So I'll draw 1, 2, 3, and I will pitch Mindslaver to the graveyard. Then let's see, what can we do? Then I will play a land, and I'm going to do a bit more of a long turn. I'll get 3 black, and I will play. Is it worth it now? I don't know if it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Okay, I'll play Yawgmoth's Will, and then I'll replay Lotus. Then I will. Let's see. Let's think about this. Let's get 3 blue. It's going to go on the out of game pile. 3 blues in the pool. And I'm going to Mystical Tutor. For gifts. How many cards are in your hand?
1.
Okay. And then I will Ancestral down to 1 to draw 1, 2, 3. Already played a land. So you got a Serendib. And now I'm going to get those to get a Crucible back out. And I got this 1 blue left. Already played lands. I think I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. Untap. Oh, 20 damage. 4. Play a Mox. Ouch. Put that down. Swing for 3.
Kurdik resolves. Take 3.
Yours.
Untap. Roll for Encrypt. No damage. Draw. Okay. So the question is, try to combo now or try to combo later? I'll play a Volcanic Island. I think I can go ahead and do this. Okay, so I will play a Platinum Angel.
Okay.
So I don't lose the game until she's gone.
Yeah, I know.
And then I will pass the turn.
Okay. But I've run way out of gas. Yours.
Okay, so I'll untap, roll for damage on plat. 9, I take 3. Oh, there we go. Goblin Welder. and I'll pass the turn.
That's the end of the game.
Well, not yet.
That's the end of the game.
Okay. So just so you
Keep going.
should I show you what I have in my hand so you can, because I want you to learn. That's the point of this game.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a Force of Will and a Drain and a Gifts and a Thirst in my hand.
Right.
So I have two abilities to like stop whatever it is you were going to do that was actually threatening, but nothing was actually threatening. So the Goblin Builder, this is the end of your turn, does not have, still has Summoning Sickness. So what we first want to do is we want to cast the Thirst for Knowledge because we want this guy into the graveyard. 1, 2, 3. Those come to hand. And then we'll pitch the Fatty to the graveyard, which resolves that. And that was just those 3. And now it's during your turn. I still have 4 mana open, so now we want to do Gifts. And so I want to give you, this will give me an Infinite Slaver Lock, just putting that in the graveyard. So honestly, I don't even really care where things actually go. Maybe just that's a good pile. So now, with the way Gifts work is you look at that pile, and you put 2 in my hand, and you put 2 in my graveyard.
Yeah, I would probably just go ahead and put this in the library in the graveyard.
Okay.
But they're both going to come back out with Crucible and Whirls
Right.
because you gave me 3 lands.
All right. Okay, so these come to my hand. That was all on your end step. I suppose you don't care about cutting at this point?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So that was end step. So now we untap. Roll for damage on the crypt. Do you want me to re-roll?
No.
Okay, so that's 14, I guess. So now we draw. And probably the best one to put into play is the Tolarian, and then a Mox. And let's tap this for 2. And let's trade it for Mindslaver. 2 floating still. Tap that and that. Let's see, we're gonna. So there's 4 mana that's gonna pay for Mindslaver, but before we do it, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues. So now I'll activate the Mindslaver. Now with the 5 blues, I'll play Jace. And I have a blue floating still. I'll use Jace. And I'm drawing Time Walk, Vampiric, and Intuition. I'm just going to go ahead and use... Oh, sorry, I have to put 2 back. Now we don't care about lands so much, so I'll put this land back on top. And I don't really care about drains so much, so I'll put that back on top. Because, I mean, you're pretty much going to be locked out. Okay, so then I'll tap 1 other and I'll Time Walk. Then we swing for 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't stop that.
No, actually, I can.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you can block with your
I can
Serendip.
block with a Serendip. So I will block with a Serendip.
Okay.
That would be the best choice at this point.
Okay, so then I would end the turn. And now you hand me your hand. You have no hand. So then you draw a card, and I'll keep this in your hand. And your Curdiate's not going to attack, but I will tap all your Cities of Brass.
So then I take 3 damage.
And then I'll tap all those, but you fail to do anything with it. And then I'm also going
Do I
to
take
tap...
mana burn from the tap?
No, there's no mana burn in Vintage. So I'll tap 3, and I'll cast an Intuition, which normally, like, my opponent gets to pick what happens, but in this case, I'm going to pick what happens because I am playing you. So I want... All my big fat creatures are already out of there, so I'll put that in the graveyard. I'll put just a fetch land in the graveyard, and then what do I want in my hand? I want another Goblin Welder. And that's the decision that I would have given you those 3 cards, but since I make your call, I choose how those go.
Right.
It's very broken when you're in the middle of a Mindslaver. So then that's a cut. That goes there. Untap. There's no more Mana Crypt. So then draw. So now we get a red, put another Welder in play. And now we use Jace. I'll take this and put these 2 back on top. Now we put in, this is what gives the Infinite Slaver Lock, because the Citadel can always come back in every turn for a Crucible.
Right.
And so now we float a mana, trade for the Slaver, which is in here somewhere. There. And then we tap one floating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 mana. 2 blues are floating still. And with the 2 floating blues, I'll go ahead and cast Thirst along with that. Or actually, the white's better. Draw 3, and I don't care about lands anymore because the Crucible's out. So this is one really nice thing about the Crucible. It makes these decisions really easy.
Exactly. It also gets your artifact land if you want to bring it back.
Yep. So now he swings for 4 more. And I don't need to do anything else, so I could just pass the turn.
Okay.
So you untap, and then I look at what's in your hand. Okay, so you're going to play a strip mine, and you're going to strip your own land.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tap 3, go down to 2. Then you're going to tap all your mana, and that's still in your hand, and you're done. So then I untap. No bad upkeep. Draw another Mox. And so now what starts to happen, and this is worth seeing, because you can already see the game's about to end.
The game was over a while back ago.
What I want you to see, though, is that we can replay a recurring artifact from the graveyard. So you only need these 3 and 4 mana to do the Slaver Lock, but there's another way to do Slaver Lock. If I float a mana, so I got 1 in the pool, then I use one of these Welders to trade for, and this is one of the main reasons this guy's in the deck, Triskelivus, who comes out with 3 counters on him. Right? Then I'll float 2 more mana, and I'll pull all those counters off. So there's no more counters, no more mana. And now these are all 1/1 artifact flyers, right? So now I can actually not only build up more attack power, but if I didn't have Crucible and I couldn't do that Darksteel Citadel trick, if you have 2 Wilders, you can use it to generate artifacts to sack for the Mindslayer.
Yep.
And that's the important part there. So, but at this point, it would just be like, I mean, what I'd probably do actually is I'd probably do that.
Well, what you would do is just swing.
Bring the Slaver back out so I don't have to waste an artifact next turn. But notice, when I traded, I didn't pick one of the tokens I made. I wanted this guy in the graveyard. So next turn I can bring him back out and make more tokens.
Yeah.
Then that swings. And seeing that, you're so locked here because not only am I Mind Slavering every turn, but even if you did something, there's all this counter magic sitting in the hand. So the game it starts off from the beginning. There's a battle at the beginning, but then once this Mind Slaver starts to cycle, that's it.
That's it.
The game just locks. Okay, so I did that very face up now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and we're going to get ready for another